Can we talk a little bit about All Raise? I have been a huge fan of All Raise. It is such an important organization. Would you share with folks what All Raise is about and how did you get involved as a founding member?
Yeah, so I'm going to even take one quick step back to tell you that when I was doing my advising and angel investing stint, I worked with a lot of women and they were always telling me, oh my God, fundraising is so hard as a woman. And I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Just get there, pitch. And I really had my head buried in the sand because it had changed. It wasn't when I was, but it really had changed. I think a different bro culture had come to town. So I was missing something. But didn't know it. And then I became a VC and I was like, where are the women VCs? And I love men. I work well with men, but like, I like my women and there weren't that many. And I start reading all this data about how abysmal it is. And like, there's so few of us women VCs, but forget that.
Well,
the venture capital going to women.
Preventive questions, like what if this goes wrong, that goes wrong versus, how are you going to handle all the success?
I didn't even know that at the time. That's come out since, but I was like, what the hell? And so I just start, working, and I find a bunch of awesome women. And so we're just doing business together. And then Aileen Lee, who's Cowboy Ventures, who I know very well, love Aileen. She sends out an email to about 17 of us. Maybe it was 18, but 17 of us gave back a hearty, yes, please. She sent an email saying there's been some bad behavior in our industry and we all knew about it and was powerful VCs kind of taking it, like basically giving funding to women for, I don't know. There was sexual harassment. I don't know the exact details in all of them, but it wasn't pretty. And a lot of us were super sad because like I mentioned earlier on, like I always thought Silicon Valley was a meritocracy. And then you look at the data and it's not. And then you hear these stories and you're just like, I thought we were different. Yeah. So she sends an email and says, can we all just get together and talk about what we can do about it? So we all gather and we have this really hardy debate. Like, do we want to go help the people who have been hurt, right, by these powerful predators or whatever, and make sure that can't happen? Or do we want to be a force to change the future for positive, for good? And we felt like there were so many organizations who could kind of help the people who were sort of had suffered and maybe will suffer. Like we had power in this room. We were all venture capitalists who truly write checks and sit on boards. What if we were a force of positive change and just tried to change the landscape moving forward?
Right.
And so that was a very conscious choice. And so we just started shipping product, meaning, okay, well, maybe part of the problem is that women don't really understand what it takes to pitch VCs. What if we do office hours and we demystifying the funding process? So Jess Lee at Sequoia and I did a gathering. You had to apply and we just kind of demystified, like when they ask you this, what they're really looking for is that. So we did that. Then we did this next thing. Then we did this next thing. We were just kind of doing good. We never talked about starting a nonprofit. We never talked about putting a name on it.
Yeah.
And then someone pretty important knocked on our door and said, hey guys, there's an opportunity here and we would give you millions of dollars if you would form a nonprofit and make this a real dedicated movement. Oh. And so we had to come up with the name. We had to decide, do we want to do that? How would we do that? And so we did, and we named it All Raise, and now All Raise is All Raise, and it's funded. And
Jenny, I am so glad you shared that story. Female founders, don't you love that story? The women coming together and just starting the momentum, asking the hard questions, looking at the solutions, and then, a little something sweet slipped in and boom. And if you're not following allraise.org, absolutely do that. It's a phenomenal organization and it helps women everywhere around the country. Thank you for that.